Hey guys, NaturallyNellzy here today, and today's topic is going to be related to hair, and we're covering the topic of porosity. Now, you guys know I always feel a little ways as far as when we get into more of these topics that pretty much divide what our hair can be with, hair typing and stuff of that nature. But a lot of you did ask me about from the coloring video that I made as far as what to expect with coloring your hair. All of that, I'll leave it down below. And please do excuse me if I sound a bit nasally because I am recovering from a cold, so I'm trying to get my voice back and all of that. But anyway, let's start with it. So if you guys aren't familiar with hair porosity, it's basically how well your hair can take in moisture and maybe not taking moisture. It's basically that, how well your hair can take in moisture or not. That's pretty much what it goes with. They have three different types of, did I just put a four? They have three different levels of porosity. There's low porosity, there's medium porosity, and of course there's high porosity. And the majority of women want to fall in between, low and high, which would be medium. But honestly, everybody has a different porosity level. And like I said, I just don't like the division because it's high porosity tends to be the one that's least favored because it's seems to be more situated with damage and all that stuff. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that porosity is not only manipulation, it comes from genetics as well. Basically, what low porosity hair is, you guys know that hairs are cuticles. It looks like little trees like so, but with low porosity hair, it basically makes it a little harder for moisture to seep in. But once that moisture actually is in, it's harder for it to seep out. So, it's kind of like, a good and bad, if you will. But basically with low porosity hair, the strands pretty much lay flat and are tight, the cuticles, excuse me, they lay flat and they're tightly compacted together. So like I said, it's a little harder for moisture to get into the hair because of that, but when the moisture is in, it doesn't seep out as quickly. So you can pretty much get by with low porosity hair, but it's a struggle to get moisture in sometimes. Now, some helpful tips as far as with getting moisture in with low porosity hair, since the cuticles are tightly, compact together, when you are doing your deep conditioning or anything like that, you may want to use heat. I'm not talking about heat from a blow dry, not direct heat, but indirect heat, such as maybe from a steamer. If you have a steamer, if you maybe have one of those packs. I used to have one, I think it was called a hair therapy wrap. It's basically a pack that you put on your hair, and you heat it up in the microwave and you place it on, and that will actually help to get the cuticles to open up a bit. And you can also use, you can sit under a hooded dryer as well as indirect heat, where it just pretty much steams up the hair and just gets the follicles to open up, so that when you are deep conditioning or conditioning, it gets it to seep into the cuticles a bit better. And of course, when you wash it out, your cuticles are going to close, and cold water helps to close the cuticles, just in case you guys are wondering. So that will help keep the moisture. Now, the next level of porosity we have is medium porosity, and that is pretty much where a lot of women really do want to fall in the gap, because that tends to be average hair. Like, it's like you kind of have the best of both worlds. With with medium porosity hair, the cuticles are, I wouldn't want to say they're too tightly compact. They lay flat like so, but they're a little more open, so moisture can seep in a little bit better, and they doesn't leave as quickly either. So it's pretty much the range where a lot of women do want their hair to fall when we get into talk about porosity. But honestly, let's be real, everyone is different, and not everybody's going to be in the medium section of porosity. So with this hair, there's not that much maintenance that has to come with it, because like I said, you got the best of both worlds with this type of porosity score. Because with deep conditioning with this type of hair, you don't necessarily have to go to extra miles as far as to keep the the indirect heat with the steamer or what have you. So you're pretty much good as far as just putting it on and going, and your moisture will stay in and it will not seep out as quickly either. So this is pretty much where you want to stay. Now we're going on to low porosity, and this is the porosity type, level, whatever you want to call that. A lot of women see as negative. Now, I don't really think it should be negative, because like I said, from researching, I found that one can have natural hair, never dyed, relaxed, anything heat damaged, not anything like that, and still score a high porosity level. So I don't like that whole damage, you know, label that's placed on with low porosity hair. I'm sorry, high porosity hair. So that's why I say I hate these, you know, division type scales that we're always coming up with. But with this type of hair, basically, instead of the cuticles being, you know, tightly compacted or a little bit of wiggle room, they look like this, and they're lifted and they're raised. So the cuticles look like this. So with this type of hair, moisture comes out a lot quicker than it usually would, but it also comes in a lot quicker. As far as talking about high porosity hair, I feel like this is pretty much where I fall in the ranges. I noticed that when I do go out after styling, if there is a lot of humidity in the air, my hair poofs up like it's no one's business, and that is all that moisture going into my hair. But what I also notice is that my hair feels a lot softer. And my hair, of course, you guys know, my hair is color treated. So, you know, they do say as far as like things, factors like maybe chemical dyes, permanent dyes. Well, they're all chemicals, but, you know, any type of dye and permanent dye that increases your level of high porosity. They also say maybe things like relaxers, any type of chemicals might help, well, not help, but put you more in a high porous level. They also say maybe heat damage might put you in a higher porosity scoring. But like I said, there's people who never ever altered their hair at all. They just let it grow out, never did anything, and they still score high porosity hair. So that's why I really don't like that label as far as damage on high porosity hair. As far as the stuff with the maintenance for high porosity hair, it does, I guess you could say, require a little bit of more maintenance, because what you want to do is keep that moisture in your hair when it actually is in. Protein treatments definitely help me, because, you know, that puts strength back into your hair, so it helps with your cuticles as far as maybe getting them to be a little bit stronger and maybe close up just a little bit. And of course, moisturizing your hair is very good. I always use water, H2O, just straight H2O as a moisture for my hair. I don't care about shrinkage. I more care about moisture. And you know, just keeping up with your weekly routine as far as your deep conditioners and things of that nature. I want to tell you guys, do a protein overload. I would say maybe a bi-weekly protein treatment will be good for that type of hair. In case you guys are wondering, how exactly can I find out how porous my hair, how does it score? It's the most popular one. You know, you get some hair, don't break out no hairs now. Don't break out any hairs. You want to get some shed hairs if you can. A couple, it sounds weird, but just put a couple on the side. Course, get a, you know, glass of water. I would say a transparent glass would be best. And all you're gonna do is just drop your hair inside and just see where it goes. You don't want to dip your finger and make it go under. Just drop some hair in and see what it does. Drop some of your strands in and they just float on top. Your hair is considered to be low porosity hair, and that's exactly what we discussed earlier, where your cuticles are more tightly compacted. So like I said, moisture isn't seeping in and it isn't seeping out. So it's not allowing the water to penetrate, which is keeping a float on top of the water. Now the second one would be medium porosity hair, and that's when your hair floats on the top, but it might gradually, like, you know, you'll see it actually be within the water. Like it might be on the top, but it'll be a little bit under as well. So yours is considered to be medium because your hair is soaking in, but it's not to the point where it's being overwhelmed and drowning. And of course, we move on to the last scale, which is high porosity hair, and that's when you put your hair inside and it just sinks. If your hair sinks, your hair is considered to be high porosity. I think this is the best test that can actually, you know, figure out what your hair is. One that I recommend is definitely the glass test, and it's a pretty cool experiment to do too. So check out the test if you're interested in doing so. Let me know what your hair scored. Did you learn something new? Do you feel like it's yet another division for, you know, curl patterns and textures and waves and kinks and curls? Did you find the test fun? Let me know what you guys thought. Leave it in the comment section below and we'll have a conversation about it. So here's the information on porosity, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.